Martin looked at this big guy who was several hundred meters long, showing a look of wonder. The ancient mechanical gods, even if they have been dead for billions of years, still carry a kind of shocking power, and the ancient desolate aura slowly spreads out, stimulating all outsiders. This moment when Martin stepped directly into the core of the earth. In an instant, countless strange sounds were emitted, and each strange creature about half a human height seemed to have been awakened from a long sleep, a little bit awakened, and began to agitate. Cosmic locust. Martin glanced at this strange creature at random. The expression on his face became more and more weird, and his smile seemed a little meaningful. Throughout the history of the entire universe deity group, even if the extinct dark deity group is included, you will be surprised to find that even though the universe deity group has also encountered terrifying enemies, such as the observer family, for example, the iron was created. The aspirant civilization of the strongest battle armor, God-killer battle armor. That man has helmed, but no matter how powerful and terrifying the enemy is, it is not as special as the cosmic locust. The cosmic locust is a creature capable of parasitizing and controlling the existence of the cosmic celestial group. Obviously, it is an extremely weak flying insect, but it can parasitize and control the mechanical god of level single universe. This god who died on the earth is a mass-produced model of the final adjudication lord, in terms of model number. Although for the multi-universe gods, a mass-produced model of the god is not worth much at all, but if you consider that the final verdict against the universe god is actually controlled by such a weak bug. This is very interesting. Hiss. There was a sharp scream, which contained a strong desire for destruction, and if you carefully analyzed it, you would find that this scream had a strange vibration frequency of the will to decompose. It's just useless for Martin. A cosmic locust rushed towards Martin, screaming harshly. Snapped. Martin squeezed it, and the locust exploded on the spot, disgusting green liquid flowing out of the cracked body. Is this the original substance that brewed life on Earth? Martin glanced at the green body fluid from the locust. As we all know, the origin of life on Earth in Marvel is very peculiar, and indeed the earliest single cell was born from the sea. But few people can figure out where the earliest single cell came from. It's from here. The final verdict in front of him was parasitized by cosmic locusts. His thinking was confused, and he ran wildly in the universe, and finally fell to the earth. When the mad god was dying of life, he vomited out a mouthful of vomit, both with its own life code and a mixture of cosmic locust body tissues. Yes, life on Earth was born from the vomit that the Lord finally vomited. It's disgusting, but this is just the truth. More cosmic locusts have awakened, and the horror calls one after another, finally formed a chorus, and possessed the horrible penetrating power. After resounding through the core of the Earth, they gradually penetrated the stratum and conveyed vaguely to the surface. Some sensitive people noticed something was wrong for the first time, but they really couldn't tell what was wrong. Many of them just showed irritability, but couldn't really hear the voices of the locusts. Stephen heard it. There is something screaming in the heart of the earth, so that all the magicians of the three holy places are on guard. We may be in trouble. The supreme magician ordered. Over time, this cry caused global chaos. A large number of birds died, and many species began to become violent. And these were just the most insignificant power of the cosmic locusts. In the core of the earth, Martin stared blankly at the bugs that had awakened from billions of years of sleep. The terrible vibrations had no effect on his hair. I am very interested in you creatures, but unfortunately, since you can parasitize and control the gods, they are also natural enemies to many of my subordinates. I know you understand. I, the Lord of Cybertron, sent to you annihilation. Martin finally showed his hideous sharp teeth, and he was surging with powerful energy waves. Even if he deliberately converged, it caused the entire Earth to shake. The cosmic locusts were killed by Martin's energy wave, and the many eggs that had not hatched were all destroyed. The remaining cosmic locusts did not dare to make their heads again, but their cries became even worse. They rushed into the wreckage of the dead gods, and soon, the entire core of the Earth suddenly cleared, and the wreckage everywhere. But in the next moment, the final judge, who had been dead for a long time and even decayed his body, started to move after influx of a large number of cosmic locusts. On the broken body, the bulb-shaped parts all over the body began to light up, which was a sign of energy operation and body recovery. Gradually, two huge amounts of arms supported a huge body hundreds of meters high, and the many light bulbs on that battle helmet also lit up at the moment. In the end, the adjudicator seemed to be alive, and even the powerful coercion from the shop floor was slowly rising at this moment. Good. Martin commented on this, and he became more and more interested in these cosmic locusts. It was originally so fragile, but it was able to manipulate mechanical corpses to such an extent. It really has amazing potential, and is born with strong restraint ability to mechanical life, such a potential, targeted, and objective race. Sure enough, it's going to be extinct. Humans, descendants of our clan, leave here now, we are not interested in your flesh and blood. In the end, the light bulb on the main body flickered continuously, and the ancient and obscure language was slowly emitted. This is a language that only gods can understand. Every note has a lot of meaning. Even if it is heard by ordinary life, it cannot be interpreted. But I'm very interested in you, and don't always say that I am the descendant of you bugs. Martin dug his ears, and the energy field of the level single universe spread, suppressing the remaining cosmic locusts. The breath is a bit disordered. Our ethnic group is the origin of life on Earth. The genes of all life entities on the Earth carry one part of the billions of genes of our ethnic group. We have first, and then you. In the end, the Lord spoke out. Martin smiled. This smile is so cruel. You really made a mistake. I mean, when I kill you all, you will be extinct from the entire universe and even the entire multi-universe. There will be no more who would say that humans are the offspring of insects. So, die, humble bugs, you've blocked my way, you should be born. Annihilated by me. The fierce battle broke out. And this is also the real enemy of the level single universe that Martin has faced since he was promoted to level single universe. Not counting Nar, he was slaughtered by Martin before he was fully restored. Obviously, it has been decayed for so long, but still has such a powerful combat power. It is worthy of being the final judge. No, it should be said that it is worthy of being a cosmic locust. Martin's face showed indifference. He raised his head and took a deep look at the big guy hundreds of meters high, and then moved his hands. The fire seed source erupted for the first time, and a powerful activating force spread directly to the final judge. This is the breath of a cosmic god. Martin, a lunatic, is either in war or on the road to war. Phoenix couldn't help letting out a grumble. Over the years, it has been imprisoned by Martin here. Watching Martin fight a powerful enemy with his own eyes, it can be regarded as a better understanding of Martin's nature. This is a domineering and cruel guy. And now, this guy actually went to war directly with the ancient gods of the universe gods group. Boom boom boom. There were terrible crackling sounds. Martin used the power of the fire seed source. The moment he touched the cosmic god group, he immediately began to dominate possession and plunder, eroding this long-dead god, and destroying it. Everything becomes its own. This weird change caught the attention of the cosmic locusts for the first time. They screamed one after another. Countless locusts began to do their best to control the final judge, frantically counterattacking Martin. A wave of tyrannical divine light is emitted, which is the force that directly shakes the rule of the universe. After billions of years of time erosion, at this moment, under the control of the cosmic locusts, terrible power is still erupting. Martin put on the supreme divine armor for the first time, and blasted the divine light away on the spot. Human, you are looking for death. You insist on being an enemy of our clan. Not only will you die, but your entire clan will die. A sharp cry sounded, but with a vague panic. They realized the terrible Martin, the proper level single universe, juxtaposed with the many cosmic gods who hold the authority of the universe as the universe entity, and this strength alone is no longer the ultimate judge of their control over corruption. What is even more frightening is that they have sensed the loss of control of the final judge. With the horror ability that overrides the powerful corrosion and manipulation of machinery by their clan, at this moment, it has crossed the universe rule and is forcibly seizing the control of the final judge. After several more confrontations, Martin just stood in place, constantly defeating the final judge's attack, watching indifferently, and at the same time, he was constantly learning all the information of this god through the fire source. Life form. Weapon system. Analysis of energy transmission device. Decoding the code of life. Countless data crazily flooded into Martin's mind. The various mysteries of the cosmic god group, at the moment, were all learned by Martin, until the power of the fire source was about to reach the core of the god system. It's time to stop. I only need to activate the celestial group. If I really dig out all the mysteries of the celestial group, I'm afraid the eternal body will jump out and attack me in the next moment. Martin shook his head. When he slowly raised his head, the countless cosmic locusts are madly and fanatically controlling this god, trying to kill Martin in one fell swoop before losing his combat power. But the next second, the final ruling master suddenly stopped moving, and the light in that body slowly disappeared. What happened? The cosmic locusts were dumbfounded and a little at a loss. This is the first time they encountered this situation. Someone actually took away the mechanical gods they controlled? Did this human really do it? How dare he? It's your destiny to be annihilated by me, but also your honor, Martin said indifferently. In an instant, as soon as the voice fell, the final judge suddenly got up and started walking towards Martin step by step, as if he were a loyal guard. Only a terrifying sound erupted from the subject of the final ruling. This is the cosmic locusts desperately manipulating various body parts and fighting against Martin's controlling power. This behavior alone caused the cosmic locusts scattered throughout the gods to die in large areas, and the fragile locusts were crushed by the forcibly moving gods. What is more terrifying than death is obviously that they have lost their most powerful weapon. This feeling is the greatest fear. The cosmic locusts who have been hunting the universe for countless years in the universe have felt the shock and unwillingness from their hearts. No, no, why does this happen? Our cosmic locusts are born in accordance with the rules of the universe, devour the planet, absorb all energy, and finally discovered the great edible value of the cosmic god group, but I didn't expect. Who are you? Who are you? Why do you have a more powerful ability that controls the mechanical gods than us? This is simply impossible. The sharp voices one after another, filled with endless fear. Obviously, the cosmic locusts are completely defeated. In controlling the mechanical gods, they lost in a mess. Rumble. With constant roars, the dilapidated final verdict stood silently in front of Martin, a huge body of 600 meters high, with a sense of invisible oppression now. He is Martin's toy. Martin's face was indifferent, and his heart moved. In the end, it was judged that there was a flash of light on the Lord's body. In the turbulent eruption, he began to violently sweep all the cosmic locusts, where the divine light spread, and the screams continued. You will regret it. When I waited for the awakening moment, the gods in the depths of the universe had already noticed that they would not allow us to wake up, let alone leave us to leave the earth. And you awakened us. The culprit will definitely be cleansed by the universe celestial group. The last voice sounded, warning Martin, full of hatred and unwillingness. It's good. I know what you guys said. Martin waved his hand and directly wiped out the last cosmic locusts, although only temporarily. These cosmic locusts, similar to the cosmic germs to some extent, are difficult to kill permanently, even the cosmic gods do. Less than. However, Martin still started. He awakened these creatures, then exterminated them, and got the final verdict with the corpses of cosmic locusts all over his body. At the same time, while Martin continued to wipe out these locusts, somewhere in the depths of the universe, the figure of an ancient god appeared, and they turned their heads to look at the earth one after another, revealing killing intent in their icy and rugged eyes. No matter who awakens the cosmic locust, he must die. Never let the cosmic locust leave the earth. A deity screamed lowly. The cosmic locusts, a group that makes the cosmic gods feel headache and helpless. In the early years, they suffered a great loss from the cosmic locusts. Terrifying multiplication ability, unsolvable corrosion ability, weird mental interference and assimilation ability. Cha-Cha was on the key node of the universe celestial group. In order to solve the threat of cosmic locusts, we deliberately arranged these ghosts on the Earth. Earth life has antibodies to cosmic locusts, and will not be infected and assimilated. But who is it that actually awakened these damn bugs? Action. Absolutely can't let these bugs that once ravaged the entire universe leave the Earth. Numerous gods gathered, a stalwart figure exuding endless divine light, full of majesty and nobility. They talked, expressing anger and dissatisfaction with unknown existence. No one knows the terrible locusts of the universe better than them. Soon, a series of magnificent figures immediately rushed to the direction of the Earth, and the stalwart figure traversed a sacred trajectory in the cosmic starry sky. The ancient gods are dispatched. In an instant, countless existences were aware, and Huo Ran looked up, his face solemn. The universe celestial team is out again. Which planet is going to be audited this time? Some people have a headache, for fear of being caught by these terrifying and domineering gods. It would be too desperate. HMPH, the cosmic gods. They are also the creators of our scrolls, but it doesn't matter. We have passed their review. Don't pay attention to everything. Eliminating the carry people is the first priority. King Skrull issued an order to order the Skrulls in the entire universe not to interfere with the actions of the cosmic god group, and it was only right to concentrate all of their power on the carries. Many ancient beings are also silently paying attention to these mechanical gods. No one will stop these big guys. These gods are too powerful. Although the strengths are different, the weakest is the energy index of the level Godfather. Roar roared among the many huge figures, accompanied by the divine light of the sky, and arrived on the earth in a sudden. 5 horrible figures stood on the earth, holding various weapons, looking down on this one indifferently, which they regarded as being the planet of the cage. The greatest value of the earth is to trap the cosmic locusts. The life on earth originating from vomit is born with antibodies against the erosion of cosmic locusts. The entire universe is only so special as life on earth. The highest order is to search for unknown organisms and review their behavior. A simple and powerful deity spoke in a cold voice. Many gods began to scan the whole earth. This caused panic throughout the world. Countless humans ran away with a look of panic and confusion. They had no idea what had happened again. Some people have simply collapsed. God, is it another major crisis? Why have there been so many disasters in recent years? Is there a superhero or a supercriminal first? People were wailing, especially looking at that huge figure that was so big that they started at 600 meters each. Even if they just stood there, it was like a big mountain, stomping on the ground. Every step could cause an earthquake. There was a tremor, countless houses collapsed, and rocks fell apart. An apocalyptic scene. Humanity, the new intelligent life after the anomalous and the eternal. The review is bound to unfold, but not now. A god of heaven scans the entire situation of the earth, turning all the scenes into countless streams of information to collect. Numerous superheroes also quickly assembled, bite the bullet and rushed up, risking contact with these gods, but it seems that these gods are not interested in them, they are just acting spontaneously. Although you don't know who you are, please leave the earth. Your arrival has caused panic on the entire planet. Whatever you plan to do to the earth, leave immediately. Otherwise we will take the necessary measures. The superhero tried to negotiate and tried repeatedly, but they were simply ignored. Fury frowned and looked at these ancient gods. His face was blue, and he hesitated for a while, watching the terror and destruction that had been suffered all over the world in just a few minutes, was silent for a long time, and took a deep breath. Director, some countries have fired nuclear bombs. Phil Coulson was sweating profusely. Fury nodded indifferently, looking into the distance. These extraterrestrial visitors acted unscrupulously on the earth. There were countless cities destroyed directly and indirectly. The launch of nuclear bombs was an inevitable choice. Boom. A mushroom cloud soared into the sky, and the terrifying gunpowder and shockwave dissipated, revealing the god in the center of the explosion. What made everyone tremble was that this big man seemed to have just been stared at by a mosquito, and the light on his body was still there. The explosion of a nuclear bomb could not arouse his attention at all. Who the hell are these guys? Is it another terrifying god like Martin? In the eyes of many superheroes, Martin is already the most powerful ceiling in the history of the earth. Even Ancient One is not as powerful as Martin. Suddenly, all the movements of the gods were counted, and they gathered together in an instant, bowed their heads, and in a crash, a terrifying pit was blasted against the ground. Those waves of energy blasted off the entire planet, causing a tremor of despair and wailing, as if to blast through the entire planet. Found it. The unknown life form is inside. Find him, and kill him. Many gods looked at the deep pit, and were about to enter it straight into the earth's center. At this time, a cold voice came from the center of the earth. I haven't troubled you yet, but you took the initiative to come to die. In the bang, an aura that was highly similar to the five gods suddenly rushed out, and the speed was astonishing. The roar and tremor caused by the mountain collapsed and the ground was cracked. When it turned into a stream of light and rushed to the surface, there was a bang. Step on the ground. This is a decadent cosmic god. The final verdict is the master. Many gods condensed their gazes, frantically scanning the state of this companion, but they were a little at a loss as a result. There is no trace of being manipulated by the cosmic locust. There is no breath of life of the cosmic locust. Did the cosmic locusts have evolved again? Boom. From the final verdict, a terrifying energy wave was directly shot out, and a deity was knocked out of the atmosphere in a sudden blow. Rumble. What is more terrifying than the final ruling lord who ran away is that deep in the heart of the earth, there is a powerful pressure rising, with a trace of indifference and murder. Looking at the unfamiliar final judge, the five gods were immediately shocked. Without the control of the cosmic locusts, the final verdict is that the Lord is still fighting against them. Finally, judge the main model, be sober. He has been dead for billions of years, and he is being manipulated. In an instant, the five gods immediately thought of the existence of the gods that could control the dead. That is the miraculous new universe god Martin. Die. In the end, the adjudicator let out a roar and went to war against the five gods. The dim gods all over his body burst out and destroyed the excessively decayed body even more seriously. But obviously, the final adjudicator didn't care about this at all. The command is to kill all enemies in front of you. He is no longer the final judge, he has become a shape-shifting King Kong. Destroy him. The leader Tianxian said coldly. The five gods started to besiege the final judge from multiple angles. The energy fluctuations of Heyday erupted together, and all bombarded the final judge. At the same time, one of the gods wielded a heavy hammer and hit the final judge, on the gods. In an instant, a terrible crackling sound was produced, and finally the main body of the adjudicated main body began to crack rapidly, pieces of body parts began to shatter, and countless complex parts shattered everywhere. Roar. In the end, the judge screamed frantically and slammed a fist on the deity in front of him, and then the whole person rushed over, in a posture that he wanted to die with the opponent, but he tried his best to attack, but it was only torn from the deity in front of him. One arm. In the end, in the roaring divine light, the final verdict was shattered. A terrible explosion sounded. The magic arrays all over the earth suddenly lit up, and Stephen solemnly activated all the magic arrays to prevent this fragile planet from being exploded by many gods. Cosmic Celestial Group. Why did these guys suddenly come to Earth, and what happened to the decadent celestial god that rushed out of the heart of the earth? Stephen's face was pale. In the battlefield, the surrounding cities were destroyed by the aftermath of energy and turned into a desert like emptiness and nothingness. In the end, it was judged that the Lord had been bombarded and broken by five gods, with broken limbs and broken arms everywhere, and the number of broken parts were countless. There was a round of applause. Martin flew out of the pit, looking at the five ancient gods who quickly surrounded him, with a weird smile on his mouth. Martin. The crime you committed against the dead gods has seriously crossed the line. The leading deity said in a low voice. Martin looked up and looked at the five ancient gods surging with terrifying power, and said lightly, "You dare to surround me and talk to me, you have seriously crossed the line. Do you want to die too?" In an instant, a huge energy field confrontation has begun, and a hurricane of energy has formed and spread out unscrupulously. The six statues are at least the powerful existence of the level Godfather at the beginning, comparable to the universe gods. At this moment, confrontation and obscure confrontation are launched on the earth. I have already made a plan to do it. The universe celestial group has never been afraid of death. Compared with life and death, fulfilling the mission is our biggest goal. A god opened his mouth, swinging a heavy hammer, and slowly pointing to Martin. You have awakened the cosmic locusts with your special ability, not to mention, you have turned a noble god into your toy. This is for the entire universe. The great humiliation of the celestial group. Martin just sneered, his eyes were cold and stern, the power of the fire source was slowly surging, and he could corrode and modify these guys in front of him into his shape-shifting diamond at any time. He never cared about the threat of the cosmic god group. The reason is simple, because these guys are really robots, and they act according to the established logic. In the comics, Tony did not do once or twice the transformation of the corpse of the Celestial group into the anti-celestial armor. In order to solve the powerful enemy, the superhero directly settled in the corpse of the celestial god who died on the earth, and then manipulated the corpse of the celestial god. There are countless things to kill enemies, such as the great event of the Ten Realms battle. Avengers Alliance is relying on manipulating a corpse of a god to destroy powerful existences such as Malekith and Queen Sind in one fell swoop. Martin, even if you are a new god, you should not cross the line. The five gods whispered, and at the same time they started to face Martin. Martin chuckled. At the moment, the fire source that had been brewing for a long time suddenly burst out, and the five celestial gods were enveloped in an instant by a wave of activating particles. Now that you have done it, let's go directly to the dead, a few gods. It is impossible for Martin to give in, and more importantly, you broke my toy, then, use your own lives to repay it. Martin sneered again and again, and in those deep eyes, it was clear that he was full of curiosity for these five noble gods. The five cosmic gods, if they could become his five shapeshifting Vajra in one go, it would be very interesting. Roar. The activation energy instantly enveloped these five gods, and they began to assimilate and erode crazily. This is a hegemonic invasion far beyond the cosmic locusts, but the body of the gods assimilated by this activating power instantly became rigid. They found horribly that their powerful body and will, under the erosion of this weird force, appeared to be sluggish. What is even more frightening is that everything they had originally is being distorted by this force, and even their will and cognition are beginning to be distorted. Faintly, they suddenly felt a strange feeling, thinking that they should obey Martin's orders. This person is the Supreme Creator. This is your power? You rely on this power to create a race called Shapeshifting King Kong. The leader deity roared, and immediately slammed Martin with one blow. Murderous intent is pervading him. He must kill this guy in one fell swoop before his own changes are irreversible. Boom. A terrible burst was issued. With just this blow, the leading god has realized that 5% of his body and will have been distorted by Martin, and he has interfered with his actions. I won't give you a chance. The gods roared, a little crazy, and tried their best to kill Martin. However, Martin suddenly raised his head and looked at them with admiration, as if he was admiring the quality of his toys. Good idea, but unfortunately, it's too late. Martin smiled faintly. What? The leader Tianshan's expression was startled, and a powerful assault hit him immediately behind him, knocking him into the air in an instant. What are you doing? The other gods angered. The broken arm god, at the moment, slowly raised his head. The bulbs all over his body flashed with a luster that disturbed the other gods. He has changed, become a shape-shifting King Kong. The broken arm god did not hesitation to the other four gods, and the timing of the attack was extremely vicious, and there was no sign. It seemed that in a very short period of time, the broken arm god had already become Martin's puppet. Martin. If I were you, I would never offend the strongest and oldest group in this universe. Since your ability was born in this world, it has been full of original sin. The leading god was completely in a state of anger, and there was also an emotion called hatred in his divine words. Wow. With a single blow, the broken arm deity caught a deity in one fell swoop, burst out all of its own power, and then rushed into outer space with the opponent, and launched a terrible confrontation. The two comrades in arms who were still joining hands last moment have turned each other into enemies at this moment. Be sober. You are a noble god, don't become Martin's slave. The attacked god snarled and shot one after another. While resisting Martin's rapid erosion of him, the anxiety in his heart was magnified to the extreme, and he tried his best to resist. With the attack of the broken arm god, the other three gods also muffled their killers at Martin. Several silhouettes instantly turned into terrifying streamers, as if they were endless stars tearing apart the universe, rapidly shuttled through the deep cosmic space, and every confrontation could cause huge amounts of waves. Among other things, the horrible spirit fluctuations, which just broke out, spontaneously carried a transcendent specification. In this terrifying coercion, it was full of the absoluteness of higher life forms to lower life forms. Suppress. The confrontation of several powerful existences attracted the attention of the entire universe. At the same time, it also made this noisy universe suddenly become extremely silent. Many weak existences and civilizations shivered, praying for the end of the war. The universe celestial team, as I estimated, you are qualified to be my shape-shifting King Kong. Although I still can't understand many of you, it is only a matter of time. You are qualified to be my subordinates. Martin's gaze swept away, and a burst of divine light burst out, and he had already defeated the leading god. The star sword that was cut out was even a sword, brewing as if to penetrate the cold light of a universe. The gods were chopped and crippled. Become my servant. Martin's figure flashed, and he appeared in front of the broken god. His palm directly touched his armor, and in an instant, in the roar of other normal gods, the fire source energy was called terrifying, and it would be broken in an instant. The gods are enveloped. Invade, decipher, assimilate. Soon. The broken movement of the gods suddenly stopped, and the final self-will was wiped out by Martin and replaced with the absolutely loyal shapeshifting diamond will. Damn it. Please help. Ask the Universe Celestial Group to awaken the First Judgment Master model and completely erase Martin. The leading deity roared and was about to send a signal, but the broken deity that inherited everything from the original deity suddenly turned around and knocked down the leading deity's chest with a punch, forcibly interrupting the process of sending the signal. As we all know, there are many models of the Universe Celestial Group, especially the mass-produced models scattered in the multi-universe, which are divided into many types according to ability, characteristics, combat power, and so on. And the First Judgment Main model is the source model of the Final Judgment Main model, and it is a rare and powerful mass-produced god. Think too much, you have no chance. Martin sneered in a low voice, raised his hand, and knocked the strongest leader god into the air. The next moment, before the strongest level godfather who was the weakest and was transformed by Martin, he appeared in an instant. In front of another god. The endless fire source energy exploded, and instantly defeated the opponent's resistance. Martin, the leading deity, destroyed the broken arm deity with one blow, and roared. That's too late. The figure suddenly turned around and slammed towards him indifferently. Of the 5 gods, 2 were blown up and 2 were transformed, leaving only the leading gods to resist. You will regret it. The power of the universe deity group will completely drown your greed. The leading deity said in a low voice. It's a pity that I don't care about you. I never care about you. As you who are comparable to the universe god, it will take some time to transform into a shape-shifting diamond. Slowly, Martin raised his hand. At the moment, the horrible activated particles climbed directly to an active peak. A black cube rose from Martin's palm, seemingly directly from the flesh and blood. Grow out of it. This is the source of your strength. The several light bulbs on the head of the leading deity lit up. Even if his body had been severely damaged, it hit all the computers at this moment and began to analyze this unheard of strange cube. The result of the analysis is, there is no result. The size of this cube actually surpassed it, and it was simply not parsable by its existence at this level. This result completely shocked the leading deity. As a noble and long-established deity group with an extremely large database, it was actually unable to interpret any information in this cube. This kind of artifact should not be mastered by dangerous guys like you. The leading god spoke in a deep voice, holding the heavy hammer high, and hitting Martin with one blow, trying to take the cube in Martin's hand. This kind of artifact is simply the absolute natural enemy of the Universe Celestial Group, and it is even more terrifying than the Universe Locust. Martin slowly raised his head and said coldly, "It's useless. This is my natal artifact. I am it. It is me. And this is the first time I have exposed it to the world. You are honored, noble god. I could actually see it before it was erased by me. Now, please go to death and become my servant." A glimmer of cold light flashed in Martin's eyes, and in an instant, strange symbols burst out from the source of the fire source, and every symbol had unspeakable terrifying energy circulating. At the moment suddenly spun, bursting out bright brilliance. In the first time, the leading god was shrouded. Until the last moment of this life, the leading gods were trying to resolve. At the moment, it also finally resolved a name through countless symbols. It was just a name, and the full value of his noble life was only to learn the name of this black cube. This is really a great irony for an ancient cosmic god, who created countless life forms and destroyed countless life forms. In the end, the leading deity looked at Martin for the last time, looking at the two devas, standing on the left and right, guarding the supreme Martin like a pillar supporting the universe. Immediately, a terrible light burst out from him. This is the light of self-destruction. With the last reason, he detonated his energy storage system, and with the final sound, accompanied by the terror energy wave of the billowing explosion, it was transmitted to the whole universe. There was only one name in this last voice, which was spread throughout the universe at the expense of the life of the supreme god. Tinder Source. Tinder Source. The name has spread throughout the universe, captured by countless ancient existences and powerful civilizations. Especially, when they realized that this was a powerful wave that spread to the entire universe, they realized that it came from the last roar of a level single universe god before the fall, and only this word was contained in it. The whole universe is silent. A god, no, it should be said that several gods are dead in Martin's hands. Fire Source. Is this the source of Martin's power? Is this the name of a certain artifact, or the name of a certain energy, or simply the name of a hidden world? Numerous ancient existences moved, frantically searched, and found any cobweb horse traces about the source of fire from all sorts of trivial old records. Unfortunately, even the cosmic gods that have existed since the birth of the universe have not been able to find anything related to the term fire source at this moment. He obviously has no destiny, but he is still the center of the universe, and everything seems to be bowed in front of him. Kronos sighed in a low voice, and immediately disappeared into time again. He didn't have any hatred with Martin, so he couldn't participate in it. He just watched the little actions of some guys coldly, especially when he saw these guys trying to find Martin's weaknesses. He wanted to laugh. This battle has come to an end, and a new wave has been produced, that is, I don't know when it will finally brew into the ultimate tsunami. Martin has returned to Cybertron with two celestial groups like guards. Two big men, 600 meters high, crashed onto Cybertron, causing a lot of shock. "Ah, I am half as tall as I am," the iron-armored dragon shouted loudly. Cosmic Celestial Team. These guys are a bit interesting, it's worth taking some time to study. Shockwave was constantly looking at these two big guys. Heartbeat. This is the universe god, the top race in the universe. Unfortunately, it seems that these two gods are now his companions. Martin returned to his residence, first poured himself a cup of coffee, then deeply sniffed the aroma, exhaled contentedly, and then, he sat comfortably on the chair and began to check the system notifications. System. Report the lottery situation. Dip. Congratulations to the host for activating the Universe Gods group, and obtaining the gene bank and database of the universe gods, and a special prize draw is awarded. Special draw. Martin's gaze flashed, and he glanced at the flashing light curtain. I have to say that it is really fascinating. As in the past, he always hooks him with various artifacts and powerful shape-shifting diamonds. System. Start a special lottery draw. There was a deep expectation on Martin's face. Dip. Congratulations to the host for getting one of the 13 apostles, Master Titanium. Master Titan. A look of surprise immediately appeared on Martin's face. This was the first shape-shifting King Kong of the 13 apostles level he got. Every apostle is a symbol of wisdom and power. Master Titanium 13 apostles, character. Erudite, wisdom plus 80%. Height. 7 meters, energy, billion body, healthy. Power. Level single universe, famous saying, wisdom is the most powerful. Comment. One of the 13 apostles, for a long time, he used his ancient visual receiver to witness everything. As a secret force behind the scenes, it supports the operation of the Council of Elders, selects the leaders of the past generations, and helps maintain the security of Cybertron in the leadership module. Master Titan's favorite thing is to sit in the Iron Castle archives, where the massive knowledge base is contemplating and making secret preparations to deal with the darkest moments facing the entire race. A majestic face, revealing knowledge and wisdom all over his body, at this moment, slowly walked out of the light curtain, full of purple, holding an ancient covenant phantom in his hand, and holding a powerful shadow in his hand. Capable pen. The powerful power of the level single universe, coupled with the vast and endless reserves of knowledge, gave Master Titan a very mysterious and noble temperament. Actually, I really want to ask if my Iron Castle archives has been built. Master Titan came to Martin, and after quickly confirming Martin's identity in a billionth of a second, the first sentence he said was to ask Martin about his favorite special building. Definitely, Master Titan, the most precious and guarded place on the entire planet is the Iron Castle archives. In fact, I deliberately only arranged a deputy curator to manage it, leaving you with the position of the curator. Only you are the most suitable person to take charge of the Iron Castle archives. Martin suddenly smiled. He deserves to be Master Titan. He has a straightforward personality. Apart from knowledge and inheritance, everything else can be ignored. Master Titan's tight face immediately eased, and there was more excitement. He rubbed his fingers and the ghost of the Covenant disappeared, but the pen in the other hand still existed, and he whispered. Seriously, this is the best news I have heard. The treasure house of knowledge is where I should be the great creator. Take the liberty to ask. Who did you arrange for the deputy curator? Banner, Bruce Banner, is also a very intelligent guy. You should get together. Martin took a sip of coffee and laughed. Banner. Master Titan chewed on the name, swept away with his powerful will, and he knew a lot of information about the entire planet. Naturally, he also had the most basic understanding of Banner. So far, it's pretty good. Just now, what you were holding in your hand, is it one of the 10 great artifacts, Sacred Covenant of Yuanshi Tianjun? Martin spoke suddenly, his eyes a little hot. Master Titan smiled heartily. That's a fake. At any rate, it is also the most special one of the 10 artifacts. How could it be directly in my hands? However, the prophetic pen used to record the content on the Yuanshi Tianjun Covenant is indeed in my hands. Master T raised up the pen that he held tightly, which can be said to be his life artifact. The divine instrument of Yuanshi Tianjun Covenant is also very special. It is more like a history book, similar to Martin's historical records in his previous life. It is specially used to record the various events of a great civilization. The foundation of countless universes will never fade. And Master T, in his previous life, was a historian, who was specially responsible for writing content on the Yuanshi Tianjun Covenant. Martin feels honored that he now has his own royal historian, Master Titan, a great shape-shifting diamond that integrates wisdom, character, consciousness and strength, has appeared. At this moment, the wave of the birth of another great existence of level single universe directly affected the entire universe originally, and was noticed by countless gods. Suddenly, bursts of horror sounded one after another. Just when the ancient existences in the entire universe were mostly immersed in the shocking news that a group of cosmic gods was annihilated. But there is an existence who is completely disinterested in these incidents. No matter who kills anyone, it has nothing to do with him. So hungry. The invincible planet Devourer perseveres in the cosmic starry sky, looking for delicious high-energy planets, and rushes to take a bite when he finds one, crunchy and crispy. He has repeated this action for more than 10 billion years, and it is foreseeable that it will continue for a long time in the future. What a terrible planet. Hunger is about to make me lose my mind. My servants, go. Find a delicious planet for me to fill my stomach. Galactus has a low voice, with a repressed madness. He is really going crazy with hunger. The 4 major Galactus messengers looked up at him. Silver Shadowman, Tyrant, Stardust and Flame Emperor. Master, the Annihilation Zerg has been searching for your whereabouts. If we leave again, you will be very dangerous. Although the Zerg King is treacherous, his strength is also terrifying. The Silver Shadow Man raised his head and said, his expression indifferent, his body made up of mercury, glowing with radiance at this moment, stepped on the silver skateboard with his feet. The Emperor Yan threw out a flame irritably, and said coldly, we might as well join hands to kill the bug first. No, that bug is at the top in the level single universe. The 4 of us, including the hungry masters, have no chance of winning. Stardust turned into countless bits of light, sometimes scattered and sometimes gathered. The tyrant was carrying a mountain axe with an annoyed look, and his tyrannical face showed brutality. Find the high-energy planet as soon as possible, and when the master's hunger is relieved, we will go back and destroy that race. Then act quickly, I can't wait. When I fill my stomach, I'll strangle the bug by myself." Galactus roared low, his horrible mouth open, as if it were a black hole to some extent. This mouth is really a black hole. He has not eaten enough for more than 10 billion years. He is always hungry. Because of hunger, combat power is always in the process of being lost. This is also the root cause of the invincible Galactus, a group of strength waters, and even in many universes, it has become the weather vane of the level universe event. Whenever a level universe event breaks out, Galactus will die first. Sometimes it was slaughtered by other gods, and sometimes it was simply beaten on the ground by a group of superhero from the Earth. In Marvel, if you don't want to die, Galactus is embarrassed to go out and say that he is a superhero. At this time, listening to Galactus's words to fill his stomach, the four ambassadors turned their heads at the same time. They had given up their hearts a long time ago. For more than 10 billion years, the invincible Galactus is still on the way to eat and find food, which is desperate. There is no way, if you really want to find it, you can only find that planet. Stardust turned into countless particles, suddenly said. The other three messengers looked at her. Which one? Stardust replied. The home planet of the Skrulls. Action now, I'm going to eat there. Galactus set off immediately and headed to the Andromeda Galaxy. Galactus moved quickly toward the home star of the Skrull Empire. His horrendously large body spanned countless galaxies along the way, none of which would interest Galactus. They are terrible ghost planets. At the moment, the Skrull people are celebrating. They once again defeated the attack of the mortal enemy Carrie. The stupid supreme wisdom is just an artificial intelligence in the end. King Skrull toasted to the house full of ministers. At this time, an imperial general rushed in embarrassedly, sweating profusely. Your Majesty, the planet devourer is here. What? So people were shocked and horrified. Galactus. Why did he come here? The universe is so huge, with so many planets, he just focused on the home planet of our Skrull Empire? His Majesty's face was distorted. As an ancient civilization, the Skrulls are too aware of the meaning of the name Galactus, which symbolizes death and despair. As long as Galactus appears, there must be planets eaten by him. General, it is up to you to negotiate with Galactus. Galactus is a gentle tyrant. As long as we talk carefully, at least we can move the entire planet's population away first. The king reluctantly calmed down. As we all know, when Galactus is devouring a planet, it will always send an envoy to notify it first, so that the natives above can escape as much as possible, and then he will eat. It is a pity that the hapless Skrulls encountered Galactus, who was unprecedentedly hungry and violent. Your Majesty, the general was annihilated by an energy wave ejected by Galactus and turned into cosmic dust. Soon someone rushed in to report. All ministers, take the emergency rescue spacecraft and leave here immediately, this mother star. We don't want it. Soon, a spacecraft rushed into the deep space of the universe, but the countless populations, industries, and laboratories of this parent star all entered Galactus' belly. They watched Galactus, grabbed the palm-sized mother star, and went up and took a bite. Galactus was too big. The home star exploded, and the Skrull Empire was hit hard, and the essence of the entire civilization was buried in this way. Diaresis, Your Majesty, this must be done by the Carrie people. They attracted the planet devourer. Otherwise, how could Galactus become so irritable? Yes, it must be so. The Kree are the dirtiest species in the universe. They must have done this kind of despicable thing. Many high-level officials gathered around the gloomy king, talking one after another. The king's eyes were complicated, he endured his heartache, and quickly thought about his next plan. In the end, he said coldly, the home planet was destroyed, and the entire Skrull Empire lost 1/3 of its power. We need to find a good enough one. The planet is here to rise again. The king quickly glanced at the star map, pondered over and over, and said in a low voice, send a troop to sneak into this planet and determine the feasibility of using this planet as an alternative home star. What the king was referring to was the Earth. The special nature of this planet has gradually been noticed by some existences in the universe. The murderous Martin came from Maid Zhao. The cosmic celestial group has come to this planet several times, plus this is the center of the world tree. To be honest, The Skrulls have been staring at this place a long time ago, and now they just send a team to dormant on Earth in secret. Look. What's that? A Skrull pointed in a direction. I saw that a large number of weird bugs appeared suddenly, and they came across the galaxy in Roar's whistle. The moment they saw Galactus, they rushed fiercely. Endless insects are not afraid of death, lying on Galactus and biting, and there are many powerful humanoid insects. While restraining the 4 ambassadors, the rest began to madly pounce on Galactus, with powerful energy. The wave hit the surface of Galactus. Galactus, who was always hungry and weak, let out a deafening roar at the moment. Galactus hit the street this time. Martin sat on his seat, sipping the freshly ground coffee, and suddenly his expression moved. His huge will spread out quickly, and in an instant he crossed countless galaxies, tracking the sudden explosion of the level single universe. The location of the fierce confrontation. The endless gaze fell directly to the scene where Galactus was imprisoned and dragged away by many insects. The miserable Galactus was covered with scars all over his body, and the endless worms around him turned into a horrible worm wave. Everywhere he passed, all the planets were eaten away. Actually, there are gods who dared to attack Galactus, one of the 5 great creation gods, and they actually succeeded. Some gods look weird, and some thoughts in their hearts are throbbing. Galactus, is it so weak? Even the 5 gods are not invincible. But no one acted, just watched indifferently, watching the planet Devourer, the symbol of invincibility, collapsed under the attack of the Annihilation Zerg. Annihilation Zerg. So that's it. Martin slowly withdrew his gaze, and immediately showed a sense of sorrow. This is the great event of interstellar annihilation. Galactus was spotted by the king of the Annihilation Zerg, and he caught it in one fell swoop to serve as a living battery. Fortunately, at least he was able to save his life so that he would not be killed to sacrifice to the heavens. Interstellar annihilation. This is the worm wave disaster that spreads across the entire universe. Countless civilizations will join forces to fight the endless army of Zerg. Martin slowly put down the coffee in his hand and looked into the distance thoughtfully. In the great event of interstellar annihilation, the Annihilation Zerg successfully forced the 3 interstellar empires and the New Star Legion to join forces to counter the threat of this terrifying insect swarm. I am also in the Milky Way, and sooner or later I will be attacked by these Annihilation Zergs, and the Annihilation King is also very powerful, plus all kinds of weird abilities. Martin thought for a while, and then smiled. If these bugs dare to provoke him, then just kill them. It is also time to spread the fire of the shapeshifting King Kong towards the entire universe, and wash away all the enemies with an endless army of steel. You know, Martin has never been afraid of anyone. Although the entire Cybertronian star now has a population of only 10 million, which seems far from enough, over time, more shapeshifting diamonds will be born from the incubator. What's more, when it's really necessary, the entire universe, all the creations of civilization, will all become my shapeshifting King Kong. Martin opened his arms and squinted his eyes towards the entire space, as if to encompass the entire universe. The flames in his eyes almost swallowed the entire universe. The fire source in the body is active, brewing a terrifying force that can turn countless creations in an entire universe into shapeshifting King Kong. And this kind of power can't wait to wreak havoc on everything. Send the world, prepare for war, and annihilate the Zerg out of negative space. This is already the most obvious signal that a cruel war that will affect the entire universe is about to break out. This time, it is an endless legion war in the true sense. Martin communicated this news to the world directly through Ultron, and emphatically emphasized this unprecedented scale, the vast war of worms against Omnics. It's a horror competition that overwhelms all. In an instant, the entire planet became excited, and all the inhabitants began to boil. Always ensure that their energy reserves are abundant, sharpened their swords, and some shape-shifting diamonds came directly to the symbiont satellite, looking for countless symbionts to suit his companion. The vertigo came with this purpose. He had just been realized before he had time to find a symbiote. This number is too much. As soon as the vertigo fell on the satellite, a large number of symbiotes rushed towards him, and all kinds of quarrels rang through his mind. Choose me. I can fight. I am better at reproduction. If you choose me as a companion, We will soon be able to pull up an army of symbiosis. What's your name? Don't want to say it. Decepticon warriors will be so shy. You are more like Autobots. A large group of symbiotes clamored, yelled and verbally abused, and some of them simply started fighting with each other. There is no way, except for the Necromancer's sword, which serves as the core. This entire planet is all symbiotes. If they want to leave the planet and explore the prosperous outside world, they must find a partner according to the rules. But the entire shapeshifting King Kong group has a population of only 10 million, which makes the competition among symbionts more intense. Vertigo was silent for a while, and finally chose the one with a violent temperament, which drove thousands of symbiotes around him into flight in one fell swoop. Ha, robot, you have a good vision. This area is the best I can fight. This symbiote was extremely excited, and immediately became entangled with Vertigo, quickly covering and blending into it, parsing Vertigo's life code, and Vertigo was also scanning for changes in his physical signs. Both sides are running in. My name is Scream. Remember this name, and I will fight this universe with you. Hurry up, open your data system to me. The symbiote shouted. Dizziness Decepticon Legion, General of Air Force. Character. Silence, information processing plus 10%. Height. 6 meters, energy, 7 million, body, healthy. Combat power. Level 3, famous saying, Decepticons, attack. Evaluation. As a general of the Air Force, he shoulders the important task of commanding the Decepticons to prevent and control the fortress, but his lack of security and sense of direction affects his performance on the battlefield. You have no sense of direction. By coincidence, so am I. The Scream gave out an evil laugh. The two Liu Kai got together. Interesting, very interesting, screaming with bad personality, very interested in this combination. Can I go back? Vertigo was silent for a while, and sighed. No, I have memorized your genes, you can't run, screamed and sneered. Vertigo sighed again and again. His old buddy Scorpion was not there, so he planned to find a symbiote to make up for his shortcomings, but he didn't expect to find someone the same as him. It's really unlucky. On the battlefield, don't hold me back. With a stunned cold snort, he was dressed in the symbiote armor covering his body and turned directly into a spaceship, returning to Cybertron in a sudden. There are many warriors like him. In the face of a vast battle that is destined to affect the entire universe, all the residents are frantically increasing their strength. But other existences and civilizations in the universe, as always, were unaware of the terrifying storm that was about to erupt. As time passed, waves of horror erupted in that distant negative space. Annihilation Zerg is an extremely dangerous species. In the comics, the mighty Skrull Empire originally had a population of 30 billion. It was first swallowed by Galactus's starvation, and then experienced a terrible annihilation. The population of the entire civilization has dropped to tens of millions, which is almost annihilated. Later, these Screw people also invaded the Earth in a large scale, triggering a secret invasion event. The purpose is to occupy the Earth to rebuild the Screw civilization from dominating the Andromeda galaxy, sitting on countless planets, but reduced to running to snatch the Earth as a mother star. One can imagine how miserable the Screw people are. The Screw Empire experienced this kind of end after the interstellar annihilation, not to mention other races and civilizations, and countless people were exterminated in one fell swoop. For the annihilation of the Zerg species, which is extremely powerful in terms of quantity and quality, Martin seemed a little excited. The war between the insect tide and the Omnic and the battle between the two natural disasters is destined to be the most luxurious feast left in the history of the universe. As an important supporting role of this feast, the Annihilation Zerg from the negative space has already begun to act. The originally silent and closed negative space suddenly erupted with a terrifying roar after Galactus was captured. Complex instruments bound Galactus, and began to draw huge energy from Galactus crazily to produce more and more powerful of bugs. It's time. Negative space is collapsing. We need more living space. Annihilation King Eneruz sat on the throne and gave orders to the endless swarms of insects that spread throughout the negative space. Gradually, worms began to rush out of the negative space in groups and spread to the entire universe. Although these numbers are nothing to look at the entire universe, they have indeed spread to the entire universe. What the hell is this? Some cosmic civilizations have discovered this kind of strange creatures scattered in the vacuum of the universe. Although they were surprised, they disappeared without any serious consideration. But over time, more and more bugs. Even in the Milky Way, there are ugly green bugs floating over, with 8 compound eyes and terrible appearance. At the moment, they landed on a remote and primitive planet. Before long, a large number of bloody insect swarms flew out of this planet and spread to more planets. This is the horror of the annihilation of the Zerg race. The speed of reproduction and the speed of evolution to adapt to various environments is extremely terrifying. Finally, a group of insects floated around the world tree, and with a scream from the leader, they were about to pounce on the 3 realms of the upper court in excitement. A biting cold light struck, and many insects turned into powder on the spot. The spread of these insects is really rapid, and the active area has been covered to the world tree so quickly. Martin's figure appeared outside the world tree, slowly retracting his gaze. These lowly bugs could not resist his random look. More kinds of bugs buzzed over, boundlessly, making harsh screams. Some of them were even proficient in the power of the mind. At this moment, they directly interfered with Martin's spirit and planned to enslave Martin. The world tree looks like this. The war will start at any time. I'm afraid the 3 empires should have noticed by this time. Then, Cybertron will not be silent again. Martin looked at these different shapes and appearances, and ability was a variety of bugs. If he was thinking, he moved in his heart, and the next moment, a terrible coercion burst out, turning into huge amounts of vast waves, each heavy. And the extremely lethal energy beams suddenly and accurately blasted to a famous insect, killing these ugly insects on the spot. Such a powerful life form, eating you, will definitely make me stronger. Get out of me, I will kill him. A powerful worm of the level sub-god father brandished a knife-like tentacle, and greedily rushed towards Martin, but was bombarded by a wave of energy that Martin ejected. At the beginning of a massacre, Martin slaughtered the worms. After returning to Cybertron, he directly issued a war mobilization order, ordering all the residents to start arranging lines of defense at all levels, so that the damn bugs must not be rushed to the nearby area. Has the war begun? Very good. What I desire most is war. Megatron's eyes flashed with a terrifying fierce light. After getting the infinite long sword, it took him a long time to repair it with shockwave. The horrible combination of infinite gems plus infinity gauntlet plus infinity long sword, at the moment, it was all assembled. Megatron is alone. Megatron can't wait to kill him. He has a very strong hunch that as long as he goes through another tragic war, he will be able to break the sky and become the great existence of level single universe in one fell swoop. This war will be directed by Master Titan. Don't act without authorization. Optimus Prime reminded him in a deep voice. HMPH, I see, I trust Master Titan's leadership very much. Megatron laughed in a low voice. Master Titan, one of the 13 apostles, has a terrifying wisdom like an abyss, hard to estimate, and possesses a super ability of organization and command. With Master Titan as the supreme commander, no one is unconvinced. Orders were issued, and Master Titan quickly mobilized troops from the entire planet and began to deploy them in various regions, especially in the vast area outside the world tree. Teams moved swiftly at this moment. Before long, the war broke out. More and more insects began to attack the major planets in groups, which completely shocked the entire universe. Many forces began to take action to eliminate these disgusting insects, but they soon realized to their horror that they were no longer their opponents. Boom. On a certain planet in the Milky Way, a terrifying explosion occurred, killing tens of thousands of insects on the spot. The artillery fire brighter than the sky full of stars began to spray out the breath of death. A powerful star destroyer was deployed and fired. With a single blow, it could defeat countless insect swarms. Zero, and even more astonishing than this dense firepower was the endless stream of annihilation insects that seemed inexhaustible to kill. The overwhelming variety of insects has already filled all areas within sight. Countless insects are swarming from all directions. They are greedily chasing all energy and minerals, and there are many kinds of them. Ability is also countless, and it is a headache. The Cybertron Legion, which is garrisoning this planet, has left endless Zerg corpses in space after many bloodbaths of firepower. What makes people helpless is that too many bugs have broken through the firepower net, reached the surface of the planet. It seems that the rhythm of the war has entered the area where these bugs are best close hand-to-hand combat. But soon, these excited and screaming bugs were surprised to find that things were not as smooth as they thought. These enemies, who rely on technological power to destroy many of their troops, are not as fragile as they thought after close combat. On the contrary, there was a power that shocked the insect swarm. Roar. A deafening roar sounded. This is the majestic roar from a living base. In an instant, millions of terrifying cannons protruded from the entire base, directly aimed at the endless swarms of insects that landed on the surface of the planet. Fortress King Kong finally began to reveal the real horror. The hordes of insects broke through the firepower net, and descended on the surface of the planet without fear of death, one by one roaring cheerfully. They don't care how many of the same kind die, they are more concerned about whether they can destroy the enemy and eat everything about the enemy. Kill these robots. Humph. Although robots are far less delicious than those flesh and blood creatures, but they barely make do, I like the unique life energy of their species. The insects tore through the dense artillery fire, like a meteor, with powerful energy fluctuations all over their body, and came to the surface of the planet with a bang, looked down, and stared at the countless shapeshifting King Kong. Whoosh! An energy cannon struck, blasting the overlooked bug into slag. There are too many of these ghosts. Don't place an order. Repeat, don't place an order. Be sure to fight as a team. Ultron, immediately issue an order to remind all warriors, and pay attention to collecting various insect races. Data. The Vertigo, who was appointed by Master Titan as the supreme commander of this desolate planet, roared loudly at the moment, sitting behind him, but was still found and attacked by bugs rushing in from the outer sky. This planet has been surrounded by an endless sea of worms. Vertigo's face was cold, and he raised his hand to assemble a hand cannon to wipe out the swarms of insects, but he suddenly changed his expression, and the black attachments on his body rushed out at a faster speed, directly engulfing dozens of them. A bug was eaten on the spot. Leave this to me. I will never have enough to eat. Hey, you should save more energy. The entire Cybertronian regular army is only 10 million. Each of you is responsible for important tasks. It's a little bit to save a little, and I don't want to see you killed. The symbiote named Screaming, at the moment with a sarcasm revealing arrogant voice, mocking dizziness. Screaming really didn't want his partner to die here. Although, looking at the current battles across the planet, the 30,000 troops stationed here are at an absolute disadvantage, and sooner or later they will be overwhelmed by the outrageous number of insect swarms. It depends on how long it can support. A swarm of insect swarms broke through the firepower net and landed crashingly. Ultron, report the entire situation of 74 bases around the world in real time, and my thinking organ can handle it. Vertigo still looked reticent, but those indifferent eyes had already revealed everything. In his previous life, he was the highest commander of the air defense fortress of the Decepticon Legion, and the most trusted general in the Air Force. The vehicle form is the stun of the helicopter, and my favorite war mode is to fight positional warfare. Moreover, relying on a planet with a war assist system, Ultron, to help and control a large number of automatic weapons, the war is launched in a ground-to-air manner. Although it seems to be in a suppressed situation, the dizzy heart is extremely confident. If you win, you can't win. With a mere 30,000 troops, is it possible that you have to go to outer space and rip apart the billions of insect swarms that started? But pure defense, ground to air, this is the area where Vertigo is best. In an instant, all kinds of information from the global bases flooded into Vertigo's mind. Countless streams of information flashed by. Vertigo began to quickly arrange and issue various orders. Bright light emerged from the numerous muzzles of the major bases, and countless energy giants launched bombardments, launching endless coverage bombardments on the large numbers of insect swarms that landed. Every beam of light hits. Every loud noise that shakes a continent can always take away thousands of insects. Those Zerg corpses that died in battle have also become battlefield tonics for other insects, and they were eaten smoothly during the charge. A large number of insect swarms approached, while using various abilities, mental abilities, energy shooting, radiation coverage, etc. The landing insect swarms began to besiege the major bases. The 23rd base wants to increase its energy output. You are facing too many enemies. A total of 20 million insect soldiers are advancing toward you. There is a level sub-god father bug that can control the space. The whole army pay attention. Ultron will make a mark. A shape-shifting King Kong stepped on the heavy metal gate and lay directly on the wall inside the base. The heavy and mighty body was already full of various weapons. Squeak, a harsh buzzing sounded, and a strong insect soldier bit through a gate of the base, and the strong pliers tore a gap in the thick metal door on the spot. Hiss! It screamed triumphantly. Boom! The shape-shifting King Kong, which was already ready, was bombarded with a single shot. Come on! I really thought Base 23 was so easy to be captured? He cursed, with a vigorous posture, holding a gun in one hand, spontaneously extending the muzzle on his back, holding a multi-function shield in the other hand, and immediately attacked the bugs that swarmed in from the gap. At the same time, he was also receiving information from Ultron, and quickly gained a superficial understanding of most of the Zerg in front of him. The Annihilation Zerg race database has been established. Tactical aided analysis started. Attack angle, movement speed, type characteristics. Ultron faithfully performed its duties. Die. A dexterous annihilation insect quietly lurked, rushed out of the corpse, and pounced on the soldier in one fell swoop. In the next instant, the shape-shifting King Kong avoided the vital point with a strange movement, fighting the cost of damage to the body. Killed the opponent with a sword. The body structure of the shape-shifting King Kong was born for combat, and every shape-shifting King Kong is a powerful warrior. Entrance number 5 requests support from the mobile unit. He immediately issued a signal for help, and immediately fought bloody battles with these insects. If it were replaced by human beings head-to-head with so many insects, it would quickly become exhausted. The endurance of the shape-shifting King Kong is outrageous. With countless energy lights lit up, this soldier has completely ignored energy saving. A large number of defense mechanisms inside the base are also activated under the control of Ultron, with the swiftly arriving shape-shifting King Kong fighters bombarding the influx of insects. However, there are too many opponents and they are of different types. Some bugs have super defensive super ability, which greatly weakens the lethality of the shape-shifting diamonds. With a roar, a powerful insect chopped up more than a dozen shape-shifting diamonds with a sickle, leaving only the parts everywhere. Damn it! The other fighters were extremely angry and were about to go up desperately, but received the order to retreat. The war headquarters has arrived. All soldiers take preserving themselves as the first priority. War command. All the shape-shifting King Kong's spirits were shocked, and the base where the Vertigo was located arrived. Doesn't this mean the terrifying fortress King Kong has already rushed to their precarious base at this moment? Rumble. The heavy steps sounded, a war fortress covering an area of several thousand square meters, at the moment unexpectedly. It moved with rumbling, like a huge mountain range rushing wildly.